Baines, he's pinged this ball, he's whipped him on back at head, and he's like, f***ing hell. I was having like a game of water polo, and there was like Christy and Caramboo there, and like that, bombing in like Peter Kay. But
Have it.
you played really well, but you didn't score, did you?
Did score
but
How did that feel? Because I've never experienced that in my life, not scoring.
But it used to be funny, like, you used to beg you be on bench. I've not been bed, I've DJ'd in Carlisle or Edinburgh. I'm on way home, Skills last 20 cock.
Right, pal, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome.
Before we start, massive thank you to Bet365 for sponsoring the pod.
Cheers, lads.
Gets us back here every Friday.
It does.
Gets you to come in here, earn a bit of cash, and off playing paddle.
Yeah, that's it, mate. The top 20 seed on Deansgate now, me.
What does that mean?
Basically,
You're in the top 20
yeah, but
of paddle players.
I started from nowhere. Never played the game before. Now I'm in top 20, challenging everyone. I'm going to get to the top. And I was slagging it off on here saying it's for gimps.
And now you love it.
It's still for gimps because I play against people and they are gimps, but it's a good sport.
Is it?
Yeah.
How many times are you playing this afternoon?
Just once.
Who's your partner?
Ashley today, Ashley Reese.
Right.
So I'll have to carry him, but it's all good, isn't it? What have you been on?
Well, it's been transfer window, hasn't it? So,
Oh, yeah, well,
been,
wait till you listen to this one.
What?
This one coming up.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, with our guest. Well, so, yeah, pretty close to a couple of really big deals, which unfortunately didn't go through, but that's the window. I think I was listening this morning, it's something like 92% down is the window from last January.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how much has been spent, but...
They weren't that arse because United was playing, well, the deadline was on.
Well,
last
United,
night.
yeah.
I was like, surely this isn't right.
Yeah.
What if they wanted to sign someone later on? I mean, they probably could, but...
Well, that's what you have.
yeah, but they still need to concentrate on the game, and the gaffer's head will be all over the place, won't it?
No, because that gets all sorted, and then the guys behind the scenes are doing the negotiations and the deals. You don't have Eric Ten Hag ringing up going, give him an extra 20 quid and we'll sign him.
Well, they might need to because they are shite.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. So, yeah, it's been a busy week, but yeah, it's all over and done with now. And then it's just back to the normal grind.
Nice. Well, who have we got today? Because I wanted another non-league lad.
I wanted another non-league actually after Shentz. I think he went down really, really well, didn't he? Really well. So I think this one could rival it, if I'm honest.
He's
So,
go on.
I'll introduce him. So we've got Michael Clegg, former Manchester United, Ipswich, Wigan, Old. No.
Come on, boys.
Is that not? Is that not?
I've had that all my life. So, yeah, no, our paths just kind of mirrored each other.
So this is another Michael Clegg.
Yeah, better looking. But no, so we was kind of at United together as kids, then Wigan, then went Oldham for a bit together, and then he went doing his strength and conditioning, and I went into this mad wide world. But yeah, we kind of matched each other's paths. He's a couple of years older than me. He was a defender and I was a fat creative forward.
Both go Michael Clegg.
Yeah.
You must have... Was it an advantage, disadvantage?
Mate, it's just little things. You can be like we were talking about off air. You can be on holiday and then you like speak to someone and they go upstairs. They must have a Google these days. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously you're talking about football and all that, and then they're like, "Oh, you're playing Champions League against Juventus," and then like obviously my two kids no filter. My dad's too fat for that. No, just Everton Coles, pal, and Rylands and that.
Coles.
So yeah, I do get it. And to be fair, we've kind of linked up a couple of times via social media. Do you know? Because some things like we sometimes get things sent to football clubs what are meant for him, or maybe sign a card or a programme from that game.
Have
And
you ever sent it?
I've never
signed it and
I've
sent
never
it back
signed
on?
a couple, no.
Definitely has.
So yeah, that has gone on, but no, he's obviously at United now doing what he's doing. But funny story, like he went up to Sunderland as fitness coach, and my good mate's dad was there as kit man. So I was always in all Sunderland gear and that. So I think people just presumed that I was him. They must have looked at me and thought, how's he telling them about fitness?
He let himself go.
And I'm there at medium, we just
Supposed to be strength and conditioning.
yeah. So it's kind of been a bit mad that growing up, but yeah, it's something what still happens now. Yeah,
That's crazy, isn't it?
yeah.
No, So it is Michael Clegg, non-league manager.
Yep.
My old gaffer, actually. You took me in.
At where?
I went to Ashton on loan when I couldn't get a game at Files. And he... did I do a month or two?
I think, did it end up 2 months?
2 months, yeah. I was like, do you want me back yet, Father? I was like, no, just stay.
Yeah, it was a mad... I mean, and obviously, like, you're kind of perceived as you are in non-league as a good guy, but looking back, really, without getting deep early, it was a tough time for you, weren't it? And you were struggling, and it was... I think kind of you come in and you was able to be yourself with us, and you played really well, but you didn't score, did you?
I didn't score in 2 months.
So, like, obviously...
You didn't score?
No, but while you was there, we didn't lose. And we was having a bad time at the time.
Yeah.
And he come in, and him and Adam Senior at the same time, weren't it? And it kind of just lifted the group, and he were brilliant.
What's his strengths?
I think Jordan, when people think they know him and they see what they think they see, it's probably different to what it is when you were there, because I got a lad like who, I knew him anyway, but he cares, do you know what I mean? And he was really good to have around the dressing room and that. And I know it personally, it was a tough time for him. And you was living at Fylde at the time as well, weren't you? Because what always sticks in my head about that loan, he was meant to be going out one night after Bamber Bridge, and we stayed in Clubhouse, didn't we, for a good couple of hours, like me and Millie, and I was with my wife and that. And I knew at that time it just weren't a good time for him, but he was doing really well with us. And I always look at that moment, that moment in his career, and you really kicked on from there, to be honest. Like, you went back to Alty and stuff, didn't you?
I think I needed the loan, because I come in, obviously at Fylde, my head was gone. If I got a game every 6 weeks, I was unfit and shit. Yeah. So I was never getting back in. So I went there, played. I think I played every game.
I think you played like 7-8 games on bounce, didn't you?
Like, his team talks are like, right, just do things right. Just go out there and just win, do it right. So like, there's bits of like information.
So his man management skills were good.
So much better. And then the lads were class. They were just like my sort of lads, weren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just mad. Just go out, win. 6 pints after, and I started thinking, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
And then obviously went back to Alty then, didn't I?
Yeah.
How did that feel? Because I've never experienced that in my life, not scoring.
It was so... I was like Darwin the other night. I was doing everything, but just not scoring.
Yeah.
It was doing
playing really well, and obviously we was having go back to the club, clipping some stuff and that, and they want numbers at the end of the day, don't they? But he was doing really, really well. So it was a tough time, that, but it was good because I think kind of we really connected at that time. I think I was good for him and he was good for me, and obviously friendships kind of blossomed from there, really. Yeah.
Very good. So where did it all start off then? Like, because you had a bit of a playing career, like you mentioned before. Yeah,
just kind of smashed it as a kid, to be fair. I was Wigan schoolboy captain, their top scorer. I was at United, signed for Wigan, a decent deal when I was 14. I was getting pulled out of school at like 15, play for the reserves and stuff like that. And then, I had an R-top in 2001, I think it was.
How did they find that? Because there were no scans back then.
No, it was a little bit mad, really. So what had happened was I just left school, and then it weren't under 21s and under 23s then, was it? You was with reserves. The under 18s, reserves, first team, and if you weren't good enough at 18, you were gone. So that summer kind of come in and I'd done well. So from 16, I'd been in with first team quite a lot that pre-season. And then I'll never forget it. So like one Friday we've gone in, we've got a friendly on the Saturday, and there's like a minibus there, and they're like, yeah, put your trainers on and your training kit. You go into Wrexham to this hospital. I can't remember which one it was. So we've gone down, and then it's a bit weird. Like, I'll always remember the day. You go from room to room, you go on a treadmill in one, have one scan in another, and it's like a full day of a job for a squad. So half a day once you're done. So they'll be half done before dinner, half done after lunch. And it was a boring day, to be fair. 5 minutes on that, in with that doctor, all that. I mean, they probably do it a lot different now. And then it was mad because... So we had a lad called Martin Ishmael. So he was following me round. So he was behind me and was talking about this at a 40th last week, actually. And then as we were coming towards the end of the day, 3 doctors were stood talking, and there was like... And so... That was a Friday, and on the Saturday morning, the first team were flying to Holland, and on the Monday, we were flying to New York for a tournament in Long Island. So I just heard this doctor saying, look, after what you've seen there, he can't go there. We're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. But I was in the curtain behind getting changed, so I'm thinking, they're not speaking about me because that's just fucking rude. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like that, being big loud idiot that I was back then, was on minibus going home. I'm like, lads, fucking Ish ain't coming to New York, you fucked. Do you know what I mean? So he's panicking like on way home. I'm saying, I'm telling you lads, I heard it. So anyway, they weren't, and this is how far back it is, you forget. It weren't massive phones then and texting and all that. So they just said, Cleggy, will you be at Christopher Park tomorrow at like 9 o'clock? We need to see you there. So I'm thinking, well, I'll be going Holland with first team. Yeah. But at the time, I'm thinking, I've not really been told bring anything but there were no other reason I'd be there because I knew they were meeting there going Manchester Airport.
Bring your mum and dad and a priest.
So my mum, I know. I'd never forget it. So my mum dropped me off in car park and there's an Asda at Robin Park, isn't there, out corner? Yeah, yeah. So I said, I didn't have a phone and all that crap then. So I said, just come back in an hour. Do you know, in case I've not gone and it's something else. She went doing some shopping. And I remember as I walked up, I think doctor were called Mike Ashworth at the time. And Roy Carroll and Roberto Martinez were like on the ramp as you're going into Old Gym and they're like, are you all right, Cleggy? Yeah. And I'm thinking,
yes,
fucking what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I've walked in at doctor's there and they're like, where's your mum and dad? I was like, she's gone Asda. So then I'm thinking, this is fucking some shit news. I had no phone. I've had just wait for my mum till my mum come back. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking. So then they told me, said, look, you got something wrong with your heart off these scans yesterday, and you've been lucky so far. So you're going to you can't go New York Monday. So obviously I was heartbroken. I was just out of school.
Literally heartbroken.
Yeah, I know. just straight into like full-time football. And then on the following Wednesday, I'm in Alexander at Cheadle having an heart operation. Just went up through my groin, so I was awake.
Was it like a stent or something?
Yeah,
like
so
that?
I had Wolfgang White syndrome, or I think it's a bit of a longer word than that. So it like skipping beats and leaking a bit of blood. So obviously when I've gone in this Alexander hospital, I'm a 16-year-old lad. I'm like youngest person in there by a mile. So then after that, I couldn't play for about 6 to 8 months with like, now you'd probably play it day after.
Yeah.
But back then, it was insurance, it was all that. So I lost a year then. And then I was probably never the same again, really, just through everything. Mentally, physically, I'd lost a year of that. But then I actually had a good season year after.
Was you ever wary when you were playing about your art? Or was it just because you're young, you just forgot about it?
There'd be times like where I'd like be really, really good over short, sharp stuff. Like anything under 400 metres, I were decent. But anything over that was always like bottom three, yeah. But in games, I was absolutely fine. So it was all a bit of a shock. So
I'd be panicking all the time, mate.
I know that you was going to go again.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair now, I've had quite a few decent sessions, drinking and all that. So it must be all right because I have done some crazy nights, yeah. So it's good. It's set me up for life, getting it right.
Who were the players in your squad? Can you remember?
Yeah, so like Leighton Baines was the biggest one for us. But then we had, so you'll know Kieran Charnock.
Yeah.
So Kieran was a good mate of mine. He was in my youth team. And then just around at that time, we had a few decent success stories. Obviously, Roberto Martinez were in reserves coming to the end of his career. Like we touched on before, Paul Mitchell, who's now best sporting director at Worlds ever seen. He was just Mad Mitch from Wythenshawe when I knew him. But really kind of proud from afar what he's gone on to do because he was a top guy. And but yeah, Wigan was like just earning a bit of money then, trying to get to the Prem. So it was a really good time. But then Paul Jewell like come in and just weren't for me, mate. But
really, what was he saying to you?
He was just a bit of a clown, be honest. I just think he was a bit of a bully. I think what always resonated with me, I remember reading some at Robbie Savage and Dicko said, he was at Stockport about the time at Derby County, and I thought, yeah, you've nailed it there, lads. Like nothing much more needs to be said about him, really.
Didn't he? He mentioned your weight, didn't he, at one stage?
It were constant things like that. Like my jobs were like hoovering Nate Gaffer's changing room, and then at time after an out up, I weren't able to exercise, so I was always a bit weighty then, and it were like, a bit too much of this, bit too much of that. You used to go to some fucking like meal times, just shitting yourselves, and I think like
why? Because in case he saw you had put too much on your plate.
It got a bit like that, and to be fair, like at the end of my time, like they fucking seen a different side of my dad when he went in office, because he's a very mild dad, but he's from Salford and he's the they fight him. Oh, he fucking had it like a couple of his staff.
To you now as well.
Oh yeah, it's not happening now. I'll be cleaning his windows and all that one, you know. But no, it were one of them. He weren't for me, and I think kind of it's mad life, innit? I think my style of management now has learned from like him, and like we touched on before, I had a youth team manager called Brendan O'Connell. Hated him. From minute I met him to minute I left, I just hated him. Idiot, mate. Like in this day and age, they wouldn't last a month in a job. Just bullies, mate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just bullies, like joining in five-a-side, smashing people against boards who are 16, 17-year-old.
Really?
But one of the funniest things about that, right, and honestly, I would love Leighton Baines here, this, so playing a game of possession and balls not being fired around and that, and he was always like, we're running. If this ball goes out again, you'll all be running. Right, playing Baines, he's pinged this ball, he's just whipped him on back of head, and he's like, fucking hell, going mad, running
Did
us.
it on purpose?
No, I don't think he did it on purpose, but he did often put us past astray, Bainesy, to be fair, but, funny. And his favourite one was, these people digging up roads, they'd cut an arm off being this possession drill. You're like, mate, you're a melt, you. And like, yeah, and from that, like, we went, and then what topped it off, that summer, we went up to St Andrews, and we were like probably one of the first teams to do that camp. I think Barcelona have been there a few times since, and you stay in student halls, pitches are like Wembley, and I think we played Hearts, Celtic, and someone else, and we played Celtic like about 5 o'clock one day. It was a mad time, and Sean Maloney got hat-trick, and I got a couple for Wigan.
Wigan manager now, isn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, he is, yeah, actually. But he was brilliant, to be fair. We've been kids then, so we must be similar age.
50
and then
50s.
I got like knocked up that day at like fucking 5:30 next morning by Brendan, by like Brendan O'Connell and his merry men saying, listen, you're still overweight, you played 90 minutes last night, we're running down at beach and all that. And I just thought, I've fucking had enough of this. Like, I'd had enough. And
You'd played day before.
I played the night before, and then he had me up saying like, we're doing a bit of a fucking fat camp and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it probably different words, but I think like probably what's made me who I am today as a manager is all them tiny little things, which even though they're funny now, probably kind of nibbled away at me for years.
It's the way he says it as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
of course. And I think back in them times, I'd lost that first year due to my heart up. And
I was going to say, it's not as though you was overweight for no reason.
No, and listen, when I'm saying overweight, I was 12 stone 8. That's what I used to weigh in at every Monday morning. But like at time,
but you're all 5'1".
Yeah. so yeah, at that time, it was just a bit mad. But like you say, it's football, and it's kind of how it's panned out for me. But even then, I was always inquisitive of like, how come we're doing this? Why we're doing that? Not rude or chirpy. I just always loved the other side of football. I'm football mad. Right. I'll sit and watch any game at any level and love it. And I was like that then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then kind of, it was a shit end for me really, because I think if we would have had a 21s or a 23s and I got that extra year just to grow into my body and relax, I'd have been fine. But yeah, it was all a bit quick then, because if you didn't make it by 18, you were gone.
So what, after you'd left, what was... A
bit of everything, mate, really. It's a bit wild, my life, for a few years then. My mum and dad broke up late in life, like when I was like 18, 19, and we were a close family, so that weren't good for me. And then I didn't know whether it were football or whether it were work. So I like done odd day with my dad, done odd day on trials, but then I broke my ankle in like a 5-a-side at the soccer dome. I think it's called the Budweiser Fives or something. And finalists played at...
what, just with your pals?
Yeah, no, like finalists played at like Old Trafford and Man City at time, and I broke my ankle in first game. And that were me done, really, from there. So, I mean, to be honest, I went watching United for a few years, got involved in a lot of shit I shouldn't have. Definitely weren't an angel in that time. But then I met my missus now, who I've been with for years, who I've married and all that. And so at 25, I got back into it. I just went playing with my mates at local team.
That's a big spell for like 6 years, though. What were you doing? Just
wild,
getting
mate.
Into trouble.
Yeah. Anything you wanted, fake 20s, football tickets, anything you wanted. Like it was hard for me because...
Is that how you made a living then? Because
no, so I was like in and out of things with my mates. Like I'd had a jobs here and there and all that, but I was pretty lucky at the time. Like obviously because Hunty were flying in Premiership, weren't he? So that was my mate who I lived with. So it was him who kept me on straight and narrow really. And a few times it was like, listen, drive me here. And
so who's that, Nicky Hunt?
Yeah, and he was like, drive me here, drive me there. And like over 2 years, which probably not a good time in my life, he was just rock solid as a best mate and been like, listen, this shit needs stop. You're with me. I can't be getting involved in all this. So you can take me training or you can come here or we'll make some jobs up for you. Just like stop taking piss. Like it's getting a bit bad.
Make some jobs up for you.
So yeah, and then I had a couple of jobs and all that, which just weren't for me. And then I went in at like Atherton Town and Pennington, who were just Manchester League, and then when the manager left, and then because of how I am, I just took over till end of season. So I actually started managing at 25, but no one really talks about that because that level's kind of, which is really disrespectful to people I know playing. It's like when people talk about me as a manager now, that 5 years 4 years never even gets talked about. No, that's what I mean. I've probably done 150, 200 games at that level.
And what level?
That's
is
like
that?
Manchester Prem, like Walshaw, your mates playing and stuff like that.
How was that living with Nicky? Like he's playing in the Premier League. I can imagine what money he was on. How was that? Like
probably
was that
can't
hard?
tell half the story.
No, but I mean, like, was it hard to take though? Because obviously, like you'd not had your football career, then you spent 6 or 7 years.
Like, do you know what? Like, we're solid as a friendship as you could find. I was just like proper. Like, I'm football mad, so like at times I used to do his heading because like you got to remember analysis and all that weren't big then. I remember like Big Sam. Do you remember Andy Johnson who used to play up front for Everton?
Yeah.
And I remember one Friday night, like he's given Hunty a DVD. They're playing him on Saturday in Prem at 3 o'clock, and he's like, "Here, shove that on," like. And like Sam was way above his time, so he like doing analysis then, but giving you DVDs, take home and put on, and like he's like Andy Johnson constantly makes this run, and so I was fixed.
So who'd done that?
So that would have been Bolton staff, wasn't it, at the time? And like so,
did Nicky used to sit down with you and watch it?
So I'd be one on it. Do you know what I mean? So give us that.
Load of popcorn out.
Yeah, mate. So we was.
What did you do on a Friday night?
Yeah.
So Andy Johnson.
I was football mad. So like that little gang at the time, I just used to do all their heads in because like I'm football mad. I've always been the same. So even though I had like a mad few years, in my head I thought, you know what, playing's gone, but I'll take little bits of everything here. Anything I can have, I'm having. And I'm going to use it for myself. So like I'd apply that at Manchester League or little bits and it worked because like always been like successful at a younger age and like had that pull where you say like, listen lads, going to get like Hunty's going to come down and take a session tonight or pull someone in or just a favour here. And you know what I'm like. And so living with each other was just class because I've had things what some people can't dream of. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm always be grateful for that. Like first class flights to Vegas and went Nicolas Anelka's wedding in Morocco and
did you?
Yeah, like mad, just mad time of my life.
I bet you stuck out like a sore thumb.
Mate, funny, right? So when we've gone to Nico's wedding in
it's Nico now.
No,
it's Nico now.
When we've gone to his wedding in Morocco, you like got an itinerary. So we like got put up in this hotel, but Sammy Lee had took over Bolton at the time. So like I don't know who he took over from, but that was kind of the gang and like a lot of people had gone with the plus ones, and Hunty's invite was Anne Clegg. So we always laugh about that. And then like his wedding was just like, it was just unreal. But one of these days you had like meet at this secret location and like it was like a big party for all his friends and family and like was having like a game of water polo and there was like Christy and Caramboo there and people like that. And you're like, this is mental. And
Cleggy's sparky.
Yeah, I'm like that, bombing in like Peter Kay. But
have it.
But no, it was unreal. And do you know what? He's a top guy, Hunty, because like we're two completely different characters. He's now my assistant at football. He's just like that, and I'm just erratic. I'm up, I'm down. I'm like, I'm just. I just love life, me, and Hunty's very, very chilled. We're a good combo, calm, really, yeah.
Who were the lads who came to Vegas with you?
So you used to go there with like Kev Nolan, Kev Davis. That used to be our four, and then they'd all take a mate each. Kev Davis's mate was Flanagan, who used to be a goalkeeper in around League 1 and 2.
Right, okay.
I think he was at Southend. He was a nice guy. And then Righty was always Kev Nolan's mate, who we're like that now. Do you know what I mean? So it was a really good gang and really good time for kind of growing up. And obviously, like me and Righty and people like that, we've had nights out and days out what people probably couldn't dream of. And I'll always be grateful for that.
Yeah, you've probably half lived the life of a footballer off the pitch through living with Hunter.
Yeah, and it's mad.
I'm saying Hunter because I feel like...
Yeah, but like it's funny because like you have some top stories in that. Like I remember a guy like coming up to me he's like a successful businessman in Manchester now. I've had apologised since, like, but... And he was like, oh, have you heard Cleggy Hunt, his mate, bought him his house, his mummy's house. And he's saying it to me in a nightclub. I'm like, no, I am Cleggy, mate. That's bollocks, pal. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you going on about? We've had a bit of a fallout because I think I've let a couple of butterbean hands fly. And, yeah, he does really well in Manchester now. And we always laugh about it when I see him. He's like, who told me that? I was like, why were you telling me when I was him? So
you end up having a scrap with him?
Yeah, there was a little bit of fisticuffs, like now major, and then one at best ones. Me and Brad Cook, who managed Atherton Coles, we were really close, me and Brad growing up, so kind of he was in our circle. And people just used to go out of the way, say things about Hunted, you know, because we were close with him. And we're in this kebab shop thing at Ender one night, and this gimp's coming, just started talking loud about Nicky Hunt suddenly, but because me and Brad were there, I've gone, here, Brad, fucking hold them, pal. Watch this. Gone for, put one on this lad, dropped fucking every bit of food and fell through doors. Lad's like that, you fat prick. Yeah, fucking class.
Trying to stick up for your pal.
Yeah, but he was, he's great. And our friendship now, we're godparents to each other's kids. Best man at my wedding. Geva last night before training, he's still like...
Manager and assistant, oh God. Are you sure you're not a couple?
Yeah, I know. It's mad because, do you know what? We're yet to, like, in all our years, because we went same high school and everything, didn't we? With, you know, his mum's like my mum's like his. It's strange. Like, my mum's still got a picture in her hallway of him making his under-21 debut and all that, yeah. So that's how close we are, yeah.
That's Atherton.
That's why we've got 6 fingers.
Yeah. So how did you get in at Coles? What happened there?
So I went from Pennington and Atherton Town, do really well at Manchester League, and then I went to Atherton LR for a season, who were really struggling at the time. They were in counties, but there were no money. And I think we finished 7th that year, which were really good for them because they were always on cusp of relegation, and we just did it by bringing in local lads and kind of like getting all our mates coming watching, a bit on a really smaller scale than what Jono and Bernard did at Rammy, and then we went to Coles and we kind of mirrored a Rammy, like following you up.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say that it was the closest thing I've seen to what we had at Rammy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that. Yeah, I never really knew Bernard that well, but a good mate of mine, Stu, married Jono's sister. So I always kind of had a connection with Jono through Stu, but I've not actually spoke to Stu for years. So like Jono, we were similar age-ish, but he's just so good to me going all the way through, like pick up a phone to him at any time. So like this year, it's the first year I've actually managed in the same league, and it's weird because...
Yeah, I won't speak to you.
Yeah, well, he didn't he didn't when we played Radcliffe the other week, but other than that, like still someone, like it's weird because I think in Radcliffe's head, like they're going to go on and win league, in my opinion. Obviously, Jono and Bernard are not going to say that because they're not that way inclined. And for us, we're second and we're on crest of a wave. So I've never really believed we're going to challenge. For me, it's if we can get playoffs, it'd be really good. So some days I've found myself, just because it's the norm, Jono, what do you think about this and that? And he's like, you're fucking second, you know, bed. What are you asking me that for? But like that, it's like that's our relationship. Like I still look at them as people I can lean on for advice, but at the moment they're probably thinking, I can't really give that because you're second. But
how tight is it?
It's not now. I mean, when we went up to theirs over Christmas and we won, it went tight. And then I think we've lost 1 in 13.
Did you beat them over Christmas?
Yeah, we beat them.
3-2.
Did they?
Yeah. Hardcastle, he'll never hit one of them again.
No, he won't.
Life.
No.
Which Hardcastle?
Ben
Hardcastle.
Yeah, right. It was a good game, to be fair, but we were good on the day.
That's Lewis's brother, isn't it?
Yeah. So Lewis is my coach now at Rylands.
Did he have a similar heart?
His is worse than mine.
Is it worse?
Yeah, his is a lot worse. And obviously,
Lewis was a great player at Blackburn.
It's shocking what's happened to Lewis, but you know, to be fair to him, we kind of, because of how close I am with Ben and his family, when I knew kind of he was struggling a bit with it last year, I was like, come and do a bit of coaching down here, see if you like it. And he's come and he's been brilliant for us.
I like Lewis.
He's a
nice
great
lad as well.
Do you know Lewis? Do you know, to be fair to him, for his age, he's as straight as they come. And if he don't like you, he don't like you. He's already a little bit ruthless. Do you know what I mean? But he's been brilliant and he's a lovely kid. And listen, you know...
do you think he'll go into management?
He could definitely... I don't know if that's what he wants to do.
Right.
Coaching, I mean, he cruises through that, but I think it was a little... It's been a tough time for Lewis, and listen, he'll probably not mind me saying that, and I'm glad that I've been able to be there for him, because I know there's been a few dark days for him, but he's come out of it other side now. He's just had a little boy. He's got a cracking partner, and he's doing really well. I'm really proud of him.
I couldn't imagine what he went through, you know, when he was flying. He come to Salford at 17, bossed it.
Yeah.
Then went on, and he was just going up, and then he got told he can't play.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
It's funny, like, because
horrible,
you
isn't
seen that clip the other week on Twitter of Xabi Alonso dishing out balls in training to wingers. Lewis Hardcastle does that 3 times a week at ours. Like, his passing is just a joke.
Yeah.
So it's funny because obviously when he come in at rounds, you don't introduce him into group as this is Lewis who's just had retire. So as weeks have gone on, players are like, who the fuck's that? A coaching, he's unreal.
Good,
yeah. And why is he not playing? He's in shape. He's 25.
Yeah.
So obviously it kind of come out gradually, that. And then he earned his respect before it, which were really good.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to him. Look, I'm not going to sit down with squad and tell them what's what. If people have got to ask questions.
It's not X Factor.
No, exactly,
So,
yeah. But at the same time...
Sob story.
Yeah, your sob story. And
But then at the same time, it was really good for the group, because again, it was another story where they thought, do you know what, fucking fair play, and like they've loved it, because he's been a League Two captain at the end of the day. So our coaching staff's pretty strong. So, but no, we won't catch him.
Oh, well, what's the points now then?
Mate, I don't even know. I think we're probably 8 or 9 behind, maybe more. And they've got a couple of games in hand as well. They're absolutely pissing it. And to be fair, they've stuck to a certain way, and that's going to see them through, I think. And it should do, and I hope it does.
They've got a good budget, though, haven't they? A lot bigger budget than you. You've mentioned it only a couple of times.
No, but obviously, and I think for a really... And a really good conversation with Jono about this time last year when I fell out of Ashton and went to Alty doing a bit. And I think it was Spennymoor, he might have left. It'll always stick with me like that. We had a really private and personal conversation, and it were nice to know that someone were feeling how I were feeling. And so this year it's been hard, because as much as you want to win it yourself, I'm absolutely buzzing. Especially, I don't know much about how Bernard is, because I love Bernard, he's a great lad, but I speak to probably Jono a little bit more. So I just know personally for them,
people won't see that side of Jono either, will they?
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
he's a great guy, and if he can help you, he would. And for Radcliffe and the lads who are there and stuff, you know, if it's not us who win it, I'd love it to be them.
It was weird when we played. So like, we got beaten after the game. Like, pretty much all of our lads knew all of their lads, and we knew like Cleggy and Hunty. But like Jono and Byrne were just raging, we got beat, so we just didn't know where to look or what to do.
Really?
You just didn't know what to do.
And what was awkward as well, they were going Dublin in fancy dress.
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. But do you know how mad?
Yeah. You never win.
No,
you never win before Christmas Day.
And do you know what? Right. It was a mad moment, that, because if that's what they're doing, that's what they're doing. I don't take shit like that personal. If they're going Dublin on the Christmas Day and they're in fancy dress, I won't bat an eyelid about it. That's what they're doing. That's just been a game of football. But I could see, I might be wrong, but I could see people thinking, I'm not getting changed to this fancy dress just yet. They're still here. We've been beat.
And you were going straight after the game?
They were going straight to airport.
No. Nicky was like, right, we've been beat. Do not fucking put your fancy dresses on, because John O'Byrne will kill us, and all them fuckers are out there waiting for you to go out.
And to be fair, but there is a good rivalry, but I think kind of the two actual clubs, they're just on different paths right now. And I think the game itself was kind of, we might have won the 90-minute game, but then when you looked around the crowd, the facilities, where we are right now, we're miles behind. So for us, it was we've won that game, but that's probably where we need to get to, even though we'd won the game. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that. But yeah, I went to Coles off the back of a good season with Abbott and LR, and kind of the rest was history from that. We just took over our same kind of philosophy of let's get as many local good lads in, because Atherton, Lee, Tilsley, Bolton, pretty big area without a non-league club, and let's be that non-league club, and we was for 5 years, and probably best 5 years of my life, to be honest.
My favourite ever player for you was MC Cover. Not because of his football. He was all right at
sounds
footy.
like a DJ.
Yeah, he was in Blackout Crew.
Yeah.
I used to go and watch him at, under 16s Icon night in Bolton. I used to go and watch him with my Tiana on, bottle of poppers and kind of tango for £2. Just watching MC Cover.
And you know what?
He was an MC?
He was an MC, so obviously coming back on some coach trips, I've been a bit wild, and then he grabs microphone like being a Wigan bounce night. It was unbelievable. We just used to, at one point, we used to have one at lads about halfway down coach, like that. Chairman would go and go and talk, go, can't fucking come up here, pal. Jordan's like that with microphone, all lads on backseat.
He was good at it.
Was he good?
Yeah. I mean, I think they've just re-released one of the songs with someone pretty big, which is funny because then we're doing a job in Manchester this week and we needed traffic management on it. So one of our lads has rang me, he's gone, oi, fucking MC Cover's doing traffic management here. Jordan's like that with traffic lights, MCing to me lads cleaning windows, belting in it non-league.
They were the sort of lads that they got in, he was mint,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's class, isn't it?
Do you remember Put a Donk on it?
Yeah,
Sure
that was
he's
his,
in that
yeah.
one.
Is there?
Yeah. So he played for us, and do you know what? He was good. But it used to be funny, like, he used to beg you be on bench. So, like, this Saturday morning, about 9 o'clock, he'd go, listen, mate,
Friday.
I've not been bed. I've DJ'd in Carlisle or Edinburgh. I'm on way home. Just give us last 20 cock. He was listen, right, his goals to game ratio, goals to minutes ratio must be best ever in world, because we used to be like 3-0 up, bring him on 70th minute, he'd get a hat-trick. Honestly, he was so fast. He were good, brain dead like, but top lad.
Like that. Who else did you have?
Bats, another one.
Yeah.
Mark Battersby, unbelievable. Like, should have, if he was in semi-pro now with what players are earning, he'd earn some serious cash. But Bats were mad. Like, born and raised in Swinton, lovely family, but his mum and dad own pubs. So, like, Bats would be in pub till whatever time and all kinds of stuff.
Working or
just everything, I think, with Bats. But honestly, what a player. Like, anyone who... I was lucky in my 5 year at Coles that I had Bats, because I won't one half at stuff I did without him. A forward.
Right,
so, like, Alan Laudor was... So, anyway, he went to Stockport for a period, and I think it was Gloucester away. It was Alan Lord telling me when I had a pint with him in Everton, and he said, you never hear about Bats's debut? I was like, no. The coach left him at the services because he was on Bandit, and he had to get a taxi to the ground. And they were like, fuck this, I'm not doing this every week. So he come back to us. But he was mad. Like, Chairman used to say, oh, Cleggy, Bats is on car park, like, doing such and such a thing and such a thing. I'd say, and we'd just say 1-4-0, he scored 4. I used to say, just sack him then. No, we can't sack him. I'm just saying, just, tidy it up, a bit of housekeeping. I said, no problem.
Oh,
so
really?
we just used to have to manage them like that. We're a bit of misfits, do you know what I mean? But it just worked as a group. It was some of our best days, do you know, like, we had some great days.
What's your strength then as a manager?
I don't think taking people on what I think, but I think in non-league, if you listen to everyone who you hear about every single player, we're in a world where everyone loves something negative, aren't you? So it's very rare someone goes, best lad in the world, best player ever, boom, it's always like, oh, but this, oh, but that. I just take them in, and when I first try and sign them, or I'll see them play, I'll always speak to them about what you do for a job, what's this, what's that, and just try and be there for me, really, do you know, because I didn't have that when I left. So I'll always make sure that whether it be any problem that they've got, if we can take it away from them, concentrate on the football, let's do that. And then I think kind of over years, with our analysis of change and sports science and all that, I've really tried to add that to my game. I hate all the modern language, like, to be honest, but like I said, we got rid of Adama today, and the analysis we've come up with in 2 days about something who might fit our profile for that is just unbelievable for our level.
You won't see that I was going to say at any other club.
Yeah,
where you're looking at data and minutes
well, that's
to
what I've done. I mean, I just said to a guy who I do a little bit with, just people who've played low minutes in the leagues above, let's get onto them, take-ons, balls into the box, all that. That's what we want. So why go elsewhere? Let's try and use that. So I've got a list there of like 30 players. Now, out of them... No, you're not on it, Jordan.
Didn't make top 30.
But what is mad is, like, you look at some and then
I'm still 19th.
and then you can siphon any out you want for whatever reason. So I've already looked at some of them and thought, there's no way he's coming here, or he's on loan from there, or such a body's just bid for him. So you can get rid of. But it probably leaves me today with probably 4 lads I can think, right, I could seriously go and get some video footage or get on YouTube, look some clips or get some scouts out to games this weekend, and then we'll go from there, because a lot of it's reactive at this level.
I didn't know you did that at that level.
I do, just because I'm boring.
Right.
I just think I'm at that stage now where you're a person who people might think you are, but then I think once you play for me and you see me, I'm still driven as fuck to get to where I need to go, and you can't do that by just making it up as you go along. So for me, I just want to make sure that whoever puts my shirt on and goes over the white line is who we want and what he does what we expect him to do, because I had a shit time at Ashton. I'd worked so hard.
I was just going to say, because you mentioned that you went to Alty on recruitment. What
after
Ashton then? Yeah.
Do you know Ashton? Right, it was just like a proper sad time in my life. Do you know, like my business went through the roof. What I have with my best mate. My kids grew up and started playing football. My wife went from part-time and being at home with kids to full-time in NHS. And I just look back on it and think, how did I do that for 3 years? Either side of COVID, when our business had gone like that, gone like that, gone like that. So, and I think that was the time where I'd had serious questions of, can I do this?
Yeah.
Because I'm driving to work, driving to football on phone calls. I missed the odd training session because of a night shift, because work were coming at me and my mate that fast. We didn't want to lose it, but I didn't want to lose my football, and it was just a proper shit time for me. I never got it right from day one, with recruitment, with the way I worked. The two co-chairs there, Dave and Jonathan, are the nicest people you'll ever meet, and they give me everything to do well, and I let them down big time, because I think if they had me as I am now, my lads sorted at football, both of them. My business sorted, a couple of extra employees at work, a new office, a new way of working, our contracts all signed off and stuff. It'd have been a different ball game, but I took my eye off the ball, in all honesty.
Just because you were so busy with other
so
stuff.
busy, yeah. I went. I mean, I know I'm not Slim Rick now,
you
but I probably went.
Though, did you? Cause
well, no, and I said
that.
When
you come in, you had
a
team on a massive budget.
Yeah, it was
someone
hard.
had already signed, and you just weeded the dickheads out on big money.
It was hard because, you know, like once you got in, like
how do you handle that?
Not well, me.
Yeah,
and that was
because you got to let lads go, haven't you?
Yeah, so
decent money.
So what's ended up happening at Ashton? Kind of, they've done a massive thing that summer, haven't they? That right, we're going for it. We're going to get this investment, and we're doing what we're doing. And by the way, they're the two of the best people you'll ever meet. So they've gone in thinking, right, this is the way to do it. So they give the previous manager to me all the tools. Now, just by pure chance, we play them first day at season. I've just been promoted into that league. We should never be in it. We play them away first game at league. They're favourites for league. They've brought every Tom, Dick and Harry in out of non-league. And we drew 2-2 and we were good. So I always remember speaking to their chairman after that game and him saying, fucking hell, like, what a good side. You got organised, fit, in our face. I was like, that's all we can do, mate. Do you know what I mean? We're coming here with all you lot got. We can't let you fucking play, can we? Yeah. So, and we were good that day. So when I went there...
You think that stuck in the chairman's head?
Maybe. Because we started doing well that year, and I brought in like John Welsh from Preston and Josh Thompson, who'd been at Celtic. They were like my last two signings for Coles, so I brought them a million miles. And then when I went to Ashton, it was just tough. Like I went in, and there was a massive budget, and it was all spent. So first conversation was, look, does anyone want to leave? And then anyway, fucking four best who I like went, yeah, we'll go. I was like, fucking sound. So, but then that just freed up. It just freed up
the four best players.
But I think basically. Like there was a few when like, I think Jordan Slew went to Morecambe, and I think Nicky Clegg went back to Bradford Park Avenue, and there were a couple more.
Played with Nicky.
Good, great fella, top guy, and I'd spoke to him like I don't speak to him now, but after that season he always kept in touch. He's a proper nice guy. And so then I had chance to bring in my own lads. So I think we lost our first 3 and then we won 11 out of 13 and COVID came and literally was making a little charge for playoffs. Right. But COVID came and cut it short by, 10, whatever it was, South Shields were pissing it. And then the next year we went into it business is booming.
They never went up either, did they?
No, because of all that. And it was hard. So then what had happened is, what all non-league lads will know at that time is all that furlough bollocks come in, didn't it? So you're getting phone calls off some lads, fucking hell, he's still on a contract getting paid, I'm getting nothing, I'm non-contracts. And I thought, that opened my eyes big time, because I never had any of that at Coles. We could say, lads, you have to play for free this week. We're fucked. They just go, no problem. Where I had all this going on, and I was thinking, they fucking money mad, these lot. Money mad.
Rather than football mad.
Fucking hated it. Anyone who come to me about money, I fucking hated them straight away. So, like, they could be best player in the world. I'm like, that's my assistant, fuck him off. Crap. And he's like, I scored 4. I'm like, not asked.
Scored 4.
Right.
Crap.
So, anyway, I ended up with a really good core of lads. But then it was a weird year the next year, because everybody went back to football knowing it were going to get cancelled again. Yeah. Didn't they? So it got cancelled about November. But then I go on about Ashton like it were a failure, but sold Millie Alley, sold Harvey McAdam to Fleetwood. I had Connor Taylor on loan, who's now at Bristol. I had Adam Senior on loan and all that. Jordan come in. We had Florian, who pro clubs come and then fucking disappeared.
Talk us through that.
Yeah, so my last memory of Flo is wiped up at Player at Year Awards, everything. Fucking him and his dad can't carry him. I'm like carrying him to the car at 10:30 after a few beers. Yeah. See you pre-season, cocker. His dad's like, yeah, I'm probably thinking, fucking, we're not coming back here, pal. Anyway, never seen him. So before pre-season, what really pissed me off was...
it just disappeared?
Yeah, so he signed a 2-year deal. So then going into pre-season, I'm pretty close with lads, so he'll always check in, and Flo, I'd never heard anything. And it was funny, I texted him a couple of weeks before pre-season saying, hiya mate, working up at your way, do you want to go for some dinner or a brew or something? And he put back something like, I don't drink coffee. I'm thinking, fucking hell, bit blunt. So then Brewster, my captain, his missus Demi, she had like a little job, and Flo's always looking for work. So I think Brewster's texted him saying, few hours a day, it's perfect for your training, go in, you pick your hours, because he liked training every morning. And he was like, no, like not even like, no thanks, Brewster, cheers. And I thought, but what really killed that, and this is what people don't see, I'm really close with Jack Redshaw and Tom Bentham. Tom Bentham's like one of my best mates, and they were waiting to kind of know what were happening that year. And I thought, Flo's signed for 2 years, we're probably going to play one up front. So I'm going to have these conversations because the clock's ticking, do you know what I mean? So I spoke to Tom and...
Was he that good as well, Flo?
Brilliant, mate.
Was he?
Brilliant. Yeah, he's a bit like Adama, who we've just sold.
Right.
And so I told Tom and Jack that Sunday that... And listen, they probably were hanging on it. They had other options. But I was like, look, there's just going to not be anything here. Jack had just then agreed with Hyde anyway. And then Flo Monday texts me, hiya mate, I'm not coming back. I just let me 2 forwards go. And that was the...
Where did he go?
He ended up playing nowhere. Then he ended up on doors in Manchester. I think now he's in Egypt. So he just wasted a 2-year contract, ran it down, and then's now playing somewhere else. Crazy.
He just went on doors in Manchester.
So I spoke to Parky at Alton. I'm like, listen, mate, I've got a forward here who's not coming back. He does still need time with us, but there's a player. Take him. So, like, they agreed a deal with him, just never turned up. And that agreed a trial at Rochdale, text him all details, never turned up. And I just thought, fuck that. It's my reputation now. So I just sacked him off. But that was a proper learning curve. But I felt like that was a proper measure of my time at Ashton. If it were ever summed up, that 24 hours was it. And I felt like where I'm normally pretty calm and have a nice little flow and a nice process over there, everything was erratic, like from me, because of work, like, oh shit, I need phone in back at 5, where normally I probably met him in day. Listen, everything will be fine, we'll get you in, see you at training. And I'd felt like my whole time there were rushed, but at the same time, I met like Andy Finnegan, who done all community stuff, and his family, best people you'll ever meet. They, like the chairman now, I still do work with him. And it's mad, my relationship with Dave. He's like the only person who rings me and I'm nervous.
I thought you were going to say Jonathan.
No, like, well, Jonathan's always away, but like Dave was like, it's just such a good like pillar for me in that time, because although he was my chairman, he like helped me with things in business, like teaching me the do's and don'ts, and like put me onto a couple of big jobs with confidence. And even now, like he rang me yesterday when I'm having my breakfast, I'm thinking, I've still got him saved as Dave Chairman, and he's ringing, I'm thinking, oh fuck, it's Dave. Like, and I'm like, it's like he's Dave, like he's kindest man in the world, but like he's like that. So like I was like, hey mate, he's like, oh, I'm just asking you about a job, and I'm like, right, no problem, can relax a bit. But like him and his wife Janet, they're just proper nice people, and I think like I wish I could have give them more, but obviously, I feel like Rylands have probably got best version of me now because of it.
That's good. Who would you say is the best player that you've managed or seen at a non-league level?
What, with me or against me?
Both.
With me, it's tough because I've had Millie Ali, and I mean, if you've seen him on his day, like he is frightening.
He cost me going to Wembley.
Yeah, he's just gone to Exeter, hasn't he? Yesterday on deadline day. So
From where?
From Halifax.
Right. Okay.
Sent me a really nice message because obviously we sold him to go higher, and we never stand in anyone's Wales if they want to go. I've got a really good relationship with Millie, so just nice. They're nice stories, aren't they? But this lad who we've just let go this week, Adama, he's frightening. Millie's a show pony, but he's got a bit. Millie will go all the way. I think he'll probably get another move again.
How old is he?
Millie's about 24.
Right.
But
I don't think you can stop Millie at any level.
No, you can't, because he go off either foot. He's strong. He's good in air. He can put wonder goals and he can dribble. But with Adama, he's just a killer. Like, don't speak. He's just fast and finishes. And, like, he's just ruthless, you know. So they're complete different players. But then, like, just Mark Battersby was unbelievable at Everton Coles. Like, unbelievable. I know they tell stories about lads they had at Rami, like your striker who you said had running toms and that. He was always good. Gaskell, like
Gaskell was a class player.
No, well, Bats was similar to that. Like, probably just turns up, does what he's doing, and not that arse. And that's it. I don't know if that's what Gaskell's like. That's the impression I get from afar. Like, exactly, I play football and I'm not arsed. I'm good at anything I do, and Bats is the same. And yeah, but then against. There's been some really good lads, haven't they, in non-league? Yeah, some really, really good lads. Do you know who's up there with the best I've worked with, though? Probably, maybe surprise a few, but not me. Sarge, who you've got now at Radcliffe. I love Sarge. He's brilliant. So he's
well, after the game. Or did you get beat or something the other week? And I texted him saying, I text Cleggy, and he just went. He didn't even reply about my message. He just went, I just want Sarge back.
Yeah, so he went to Radcliffe this summer from us, and it was so tough because I knew Radcliffe were going to have a big year, and I wanted best for him and that. But he'd have made us. We'd have pushed them this year with him in our side. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But he's what a lad. Love him. I hope he kicks on with them. But I love Sarge. He could kick on. But against, there's just loads, isn't there? I mean, you've seen them all. They've all been against us. I can't even think off the top of my head. It's more kind of who I've worked with. But there's loads of good ones, isn't there?
I thought Sarge was like a nice, quiet kid from
North Wales.
But he like misplaced a pass on a Thursday where no one's asked in training. He'll punch himself in the head.
Yeah, he's fuming, isn't it? He's got high standards.
Yeah,
he's got really high standards.
More than high standards if he's doing that.
So yeah, against I can't even really think. But there's been some really, really good players. I can't think off the top of my head, to be honest. Who do you think?
What, no league? It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, there's loads of good ones.
Yeah.
He's a really good kid this year, that Luke Hall at Worksop. I don't know what he's doing at our level, but he's top end.
Is that the centre mid?
He plays off the left sometimes, and then sometimes plays in 10. He's just low, but there's no one really at our level who stood out, and I thought like he's miles above.
Yeah.
Or so.
I think there's just a lot of
do you know
good
what?
players.
Do you know who's best? Do you know who's the best I've seen over the last 5 years? Briggs, centre mid at South Shields. Robbie Briggs.
Is that?
He's just always been brilliant against us. He's probably the best for me.
Right.
Go on, Briggsy, lad.
Go on, Briggsy. Got a mention there. Go on. So you got new business venture.
Yeah.
Should I say? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's just come from kind of something I've been doing anyway. So it's going to be called The Changing Room. So it's going to be like a business networking event. It's aimed at like lads in sport who try and juggle non-league football, cricket, rugby, whatever with the businesses, and just try and get a decent like army of people together to kind of just help each other, basically. I don't know if you like me, I've had go to all them BNI ones and networking events where lads have present and they're nervous as and all of that. So just try and put it in a decent room with good. I'm not saying they're not good people, but just with like-minded people who don't want to do one on a Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. if they've played Morpeth away on a Tuesday night, and just coincide it with what works for us, and basically refer it, because we do that anyway with a lot of people in non-league. So just try to bring it together and make it more structured, and then off the back of it, I think we're going to do a spin-off for the younger lads who are coming out of clubs, because last couple of summers I've become like... I just put something out on social media a couple of years back, because I got a lot of texts coming through, because Atherton, it's like a small place, but at the time you stretch it to Astley, to Bolton, to Lee, to Tilsley, Atherton becomes then a big place. So it'd be like, my son's been released, can you help out? Or such a body's cousin, can he speak to you about that? And which were good, because obviously you're well thought of, and they trust you with some decisions. So I spent on my social media a couple of years back, listen, if anyone needs any help who's been released, whether it be work or football, my missus is not here with kids and that for a couple of days. You've got 48 hours basically, and I'll answer anyone's questions. Right. And it just went bang, massive. So then I've had to go back out and go, listen, this is going to have to be Northwest only.
Right, I know I said.
Do you know what I mean? So I've gone, this will have to be Northwest only. So then before you knew it, I think that summer I got like 17 lads jobs, and I sorted about 30 out with clubs. And I said, listen, this is only my basis, but you might have got days ill, you're not ready for MPL, or you might have to try here and just link people up with people at different levels where I probably thought they were at. Listen, I might have been wrong with them, but I just tried helping. But what surprised me and made me want to start this is the level of people who went, fuck football, mate, I need a job. I'm going out on a night out. People think I still play for Burnley, and I've not got a pot pissing, and I just want an apprenticeship.
That's the worst.
But then people won't look at them because they might be 20, 21, and then people are like, well, we want 18-year-olds, want school leavers. So it was kind of just knocking on a few doors saying, listen, he's a decent kid. He's not missed training in 4 years. He's fit as a fiddle. He's just behind him because of football. Yeah. And kind of open doors for him that way. So, and again, going back to it, I think that's probably because that's what I didn't have. I don't want him doing what I did.
No, that's great, because there's so many lads who get released and fall out of football, and it's not always at age 16 or 18.
No, it's 21, 22 and 21, that now are the worst. And that's what I was saying. Like, I've had a couple of people like joking in banter sometimes saying, yeah, fucking hell, what are you making out of that? So, well, I might get an odd diamond at Rylands out of it, because I've got him a job. And he says, you know what? It's a decent guy. I'll go and fucking play for him for a year. Why I try and juggle the two. But then this year, with business and my two lads playing and football and all that, I've thought I'm going to have to do it more structured. Yeah. Where people are going to have to email in, come and see us, and I'm going to have to just dedicate some time to it, because otherwise...
And you can't do that for free either, can you?
No, and to be fair, this ain't going to be for massive gain. They're just the money, what will come from that will be minimal, but it'll just be to cover the time what we're doing. So we don't want a fee off anyone for doing out, but then if we do a bounce morning... So I'm just going to make it all different. I'm not going to put 90-minute 11v11 games. I'm going to have like 7v7s, a load of scouts, 20-minute games. There's a list of players. If you like them, go and see them. It's nothing to do with me. Yeah. Go and get showered and changed. Afternoon, come across to hotel. And it's a bit of a recruitment for what I'm going to host and say, if you want to go America, if you want to go Australia, if you want to be an accountant, if you want to be a joiner, they're all here. Go and fucking do what you're doing. Stop ringing me.
Class.
So that's
what's it going to be called?
The changing room. So it's the
brilliant.
Launch nights, the 28th of February at 6:30. I've got...
Where's that at?
It's in Astley near me. It's like an old country house. Got a little bit of house music on.
Bit of a spread.
MC Culver.
Yeah, so like Derek Beaumont, who owns Lee Leopards, who've just won Challenge Cup, he's going to do like a little bit in there. Got a couple of decent lads.
And then different businesses presenting to tech people
on the first night, the launch night, no, but then so then we're going to have one a month then, where people just get invited in and we open it up to people, and that's what we're going to try and do, and try and just focus it that way, because running your business and football and then constantly helping people, I love it, but it just doesn't pay your bills, does it?
I don't have time to have a piss at the minute.
No,
it's my head.
Yeah, it's
apart
tough.
from a couple of games of paddle, but that's...
You're here for a podcast. Yeah, you got paddle this afternoon. You look snowed under.
Time, so
you look snowed under.
Training till 10:30 last night.
Oh, poor
Tuesday,
you.
Same.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Wait till you get to 43 and you can't train anymore. Nobody wants you.
You know me.
You left on your own.
We need
you
a
know me, I'll
striker
be
now.
buzzing.
No, but that's brilliant. Well, yeah, so we'll put a little post out about that.
Yeah,
That'd
no,
be brilliant.
thanks. I appreciate that.
That's great. Right, so just to wrap it up, you were, I can't believe this statement, you were 40 last week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Do I not look it?
Tough
Do I
paper
look
round.
tanned as well?
Tough paper
Do you
round.
actually?
And it says, but the last game of this season will be your 500th game in charge with a 55% win ratio.
Yeah, that's right, as it stands. Yeah.
There's not there won't be many.
not
Won't be
bad.
many can rival that.
And do you know what? A fan sent me that after we beat Radcliffe.
Why is a fan?
No,
doing
because
your
he's
stats
no,
like
because
that?
so a guy from Coles, he does like
Yeah.
he loves it.
They love it,
He
don't
does loads. So he's always been good to me. So yeah, he sent me that, and yeah, it was nice reading it. To be fair, yeah, 500 games. Some days I think have I got many left. I'll be honest, but then some days I've still got the fire burning and doing analysis at 4:30 this morning because I knew I was here and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's class.
It's well, but that is
What
that.
did he put in this? Cleggy's text me at 4:15 this morning. I
Yeah,
thought,
but that and that's how I
I
am.
thought you were coming in.
No,
You're not just getting up.
No, and the thing is, it's like today I knew I was going to lose a couple of hours here, so I ain't got that time to lose. So I was up, I was at it, getting some work done because I know I was saying to you, it's my last day at month today work-wise, but I know it's... So I needed to tie up a load of loose ends with that. We've got some weekend work going on and all that, so I needed to be up and at it. I ain't got time for a lie and come here. It's proper because I've finished here. Both of my lads are at Salford tonight. My mum just had her hip done this week, and hip replacement, so I need to go and visit her today at some point, and then obviously prep for tomorrow and hopefully try and get someone in if we can. So
Who have you got tomorrow?
we've got Bradford Park Avenue tomorrow.
Right.
We need a win as well because it's, like I said, we've just slipped to third with Marine winning on Tuesday. We've got a game in hand, but we just need to get back at it. Although we've lost 1 in 12 or 13, we've drew 6 or 7.
Right.
We need to get on the other side of them now.
So out of that long managerial career, you were saying before, you can't really go too much into it, but you've probably had the maddest week that you've ever had in football.
Just been mad. Obviously, we've, like you say, you can't say too much, but yeah, we've sold one of our lads this week, and it's been a bit manic, not something I've been used to. I'm just glad it's all over and done now. To be fair, great kid Adama, he's going to go on and do more things. But I think kind of my message to anyone who's listening or in non-league, just get people around you, just go and get things done who you can trust. And there's a place for agents at any level, but I think sometimes at our level, if you're with a manager who's got your best interest at heart and the keywords trust, just go and get things tied up because it's been a really, really tough week. It's drained life out of us all, I think. So
Because you don't really see many lads at that level like getting big moves anymore because of I think because the National League's gone
it's
professional.
Yeah.
a lot of lads who are doing well at your level usually make that jump to that level, don't they? You don't see many of them going now straight into the Football League at a high level.
And I think kind of...
There's only on Scotland, like.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's mad because I was speaking to the St Johnstone manager. I was mentioning your game, and how many was on against Mac and
He'll end up playing against Celtic.
Yeah.
Rangers this year.
And so I was
mental.
speaking to the St Johnstone manager, that Craig Levine. So obviously he's managed his country and stuff. And then so I was talking about your game because the attendance was huge against Mark. Was it 4-8 or 4-3?
4-8.
Was it? So. Whatever the figure was, I told him because I looked at it and he said that would have been like third highest in Scottish Prem that weekend.
Would it?
Yeah.
Celtic, Rangers, Radcliffe Borough.
No, that's what I mean. So that's what we were saying. Like non-league down here is at its highest, but yeah, it's been a bit of a mad week. But I think Rylands have had like Elliot Nevitt, Cal Dolan, Kane Drummond went to Mac. And then obviously coming off back of us with like Harvey at Fleetwood, Millie, Flo who should have gone, and now Adama. It's kind of a lot of lads who've been sold to go pro in a couple of years. So that's kind of where we think we can...
That's a great achievement for you as well, and the club, isn't it?
100%. I think kind of as I'm getting a bit older and a bit softer, I'm kind of classing them as a bit more of trophies. Do you know what I mean? Well,
you should do, because theoretically, if you don't let them lads go, you keep in your own side for selfish reasons,
you
would end up winning more trophies and more leagues.
Yeah,
but and it's about the player, isn't it?
It is, and then you get to a point, don't you? Like, what kind of person are you if you do that? I mean, listen, if I had a chairman barking down my neck with biggest budget in the world, he probably won't have been able to go, but that's not the way it is at Rylands this year. Listen, we're as hungry as we can to go up and want to stay in them playoffs if we can, and chairman's come to me this week and said, listen, you do what you want. If you want to spend a bit more money or you don't, now it's on you. So it's all on me now. So
is it one go up automatically?
One up automatically and then one through the playoffs. But,
Is it 6 in the playoff or 4?
No, it's 4 in it. Yeah, so it's going to be tight. That's going to be tight. But we just need to get back to basics, and see where we go. But this month, how we've looked at it, we've got a decent run of fixtures and everyone around us play each other. We've just come off back of a really tough 6 week. Right. Marine away, Radcliffe away, Mac, Ashton away, Workington away. We've hardly been at home. I think 5 out of 6 games at home this month now for us. We always knew this were going to be the point where we could slip out of the top 2 if we did. Yeah. And we have by a point, but we've got a game in hand. So it's still in our control to finish there, and we're relaxed as ever, and we're working as hard as ever, really.
Oh, well, fingers crossed for the rest of the season. Yeah. Mate, it's been class having you on. Just one last question before we finish. What was it like playing against Juventus in the Champions League?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to come up with some stories for that, because I keep getting asked it. But no, yeah,
should have scored.
I know, yeah. I'm going to just get an old Juventus top with Del Piero on in a medium, wear it round pool on holidays and that. Yeah, this is what swap. Yeah,
just swap shirts. No, mate, it's been absolutely
thanks
pleasure
for
having you on.
Yeah,
class.
Loved it, lads.
Good luck with the changing rooms.
Thank you.
Projects. I think it sounds amazing, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, lads.
I can't believe you didn't mention Bentham.
Well, listen, that's Tom Bentham's one of the best lads you'll ever meet. If anyone knows about him.
So words had to finger. He said, I can't come training, I've got to chop up a cow.
Just tell us about that before we go.
But it's true. So Tom, funny, he owns a butcher's with his dad. So he used to come to train in his red Audi A3, have his meat packs, he called them, have them all nice in rows in his boot with his card reader, 20 quid a bag, hand them to you. And
so then lads used to come and buy meat.
Yeah,
this
so
is
he'd
what
have like
Coles was like. Yeah, a guy MCing, a guy selling meat.
So it was class. So yeah, one night he texted me saying, listen, I know you're going to think I'm full of shit, but we've got to chop a cow up tonight, like, for the shop, and I'm going to have to do it. It's my first ever one. I'm going to have to miss. And he never missed training. He hated missing training. I was like, surely that's not right. And then anyway, when we got a video of the cow going into, he didn't show anything gruesome, but we seen him with her with his big knife, and we're like, wow. But no, Tom, absolute class lad. But yeah, that was kind of just how we was, you know.
So did he miss training or a game?
No, he missed training.
So he missed training.
And do you know that Saturday, I think why it went so big, I think we beat Kendall 9-1 and he scored 5, and that's why it blew up.
Did I?
Yeah. We made Sky Sports that day because it was one of the biggest non-league scores in a long time. Skem. No, it weren't Kendall, it was Skem, I think we beat that day.
When we played at Ashton, obviously when you go in, everyone's got the trackies on. So everyone said he's a farmer, but he's got his trackie on, he looks all right. And we were all going out after, weren't we? I walked into the bar, I went, what the fuck? He had like a proper farmer's outfit on, like checkered
shirt, big boots and that. Like his dress sense horrific, like
green gilet. You know, like farmer ones.
He goes out as a butcher. I think that's what he wants to look like. We always hammer him for it, and do you know what? He's not arsed. He does not care at all.
It's mad. Like he had like brown belt, these massive jeans, and like some farmer's boots on to go out.
Metal toe caps for getting in Albert Slosh.
And I was going,
Sounds pretty smart, to be honest.
Sounds like Corey's clever on.
Yeah. No, he's a top, but there's been some great lads.
What's
at
it called? Bentham the Butcher.
Bentham the Butcher. But now, right, you know what's funny, and I'll get you in on it. He sends a WhatsApp out now every week. Right, what do you want? We've got diced chicken, such a gram, £5, chicken wings, all that. Funny, because like he lives near me, so he comes mine. I hear our Alfie and Louis like, Dad, Tom's brought some chicken wings, and I just at door playing with him and that.
Honestly, it was the maddest guy ever. He used to make me I'd be like, right, that's me, I'm having a chill one tonight. He's like, you're not going till you've had at least 6.
He's class. Right, we went walking when was it, like last year, we'd like got a place like up near Clitheroe, like It's like farmers when you get in with Tom. They just give each other everything for free and just all help each other for no money. It's weird, right? So he says, he coming up walking dog, like round Clitheroe on a Sunday. I said, yeah, I'll come up. So anyway, field was a bit too far. This guy comes in a pickup, puts me, my wife, 2 lads and dog it back at pickup, just drives us up road to nearest field. I'm like, I'm looking. Then Tom gets back and is like, right, you're not going yet, are you? I'm just going to knock us up some homemade sausage rolls. I'm thinking he's well showing me up here. I can't do fuck all like that at home. Just there, like with kids. And then next minute, I looks out, our Alfie must have been about 10, 11 there. He's got an axe. He's like, that with Tom, boosh, chopping wood. Like, that's missus, you stay in front room, can't you?
What a guy.
Chopping wood up there with our Alfie and that.
Did not give a shit.
No, but salt of earth. He's at Wythenshawe now, flying as well, so I'm happy for him. He was at Trafford this year, but he's gone there and I think he's enjoying himself. We're all out Sunday, actually, having a bit of a reunion for my 40th, a few at Coles lads and stuff in Manchester. Looking forward to that.
Top man, end it there then.
Cheers, Cleggs.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Man.